Welcome to the New Normal Podcast. I want to tell everybody thank y'all for tuning in. We have a great topic for you. Can you hear yourself?
I hear you.
Okay, we have a great topic for y'all. We're going to be talking about IPH, better known as intimate partner homicide. That's the abbreviation that I see a lot of people talk about, but we're talking about intimate partner homicide. And if you've seen the thumbnail, it says War on Black Women, Pookies Revenge. The reason that we're talking about this is because we've been seeing a uprise and an uptick of a lot of men killing their wives, girlfriends, even young men killing their mothers. The reason that we're talking about this is because there's an epidemic in our community that needs to be talked about because a lot of these young men don't have fathers in their home to help them regulate their emotions. Now, we're not going to take this lightly at all, but like I said, it needs to be talked about, the domestic violence situation. So we just got to make sure we preface that we're not taking anything lightly, but it's something that needs to be talked about, and it needs to be, I guess, sometimes handled with kid gloves. Sometimes, what you think?
Not kid gloves, but it needs to be a serious conversation because I don't think people are understanding the trend of this.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of stressors. The job crisis, the housing crisis. You got the migrant crisis. You got a bunch of things happening at once simultaneously, which are going to have people on edge. And I
Right.
think a lot of people are living in the moment too much. And some of these videos we're going to show you this in regards to black women. They said they're 6 times more likely to be a victim of a violent crime or a murder, whatever you want to call it, by the intimate partners than the white women, or probably in other races as well. But it is it's a interesting and a unique trend that you see across the board with these stories that we're going to get into tonight, and that is kids. And most of these, the father is not present. It's not a marriage. It's the baby daddy and the co-parents, and that we have gotten just too accustomed to, which does not really work.
Right. And we got to talk about this. The reason this is kind of prompted it, the thing we had this week was a guy went live. I think it was this week or last week.
Oh, this week.
It was this week.
Frenchman. Yeah, it was this week.
Okay, so he went live and basically killed his girlfriend, his longtime girlfriend. While they were on live, going back and forth, talking about all the herpes they had, how she cheated, he cheated. She was talking about how he beat, but she thought it was a joke. If you go and watch that live, she was laughing in the background, thought it was cute. How many people watching this video not understanding that she's antagonizing this man and what's going on? And I made a statement. I said, you can tell by this guy, his reaction, how he handles his woman, that this is a guy that's raised by a single mother. And someone jumped in my comment section and said, so this falls back on the women. The thing is, your father teaches you how to handle your emotions. I know that we have this thing in our community where the black woman is supposed to be the emotionally intelligent one, even though we keep saying that, but we see y'all getting body cam footage. We see y'all raising children that go to jail more than anybody else, or killing y'all more than anybody else. Like, we've seen a lot of stuff, and the product of what y'all put out in society that has to be talked about, because we have to bring our community. If we want our community to be better, we have to talk about the things that's uncomfortable to talk about, and we have to shine a flashlight on the things. Now, the idea that a lot of women keep saying too, how are y'all always going to blame the person that stayed?
It's deeper than that, because the conversation is usually shifted to men, which I do hold men to the regard when it comes to creating children, because it's your seed. At the end of the day, this is your seed. You need to be cognizant of where you planted. I am on that side. However, as I matured, the two genders have very distinct roles and they're very distinct levels, and I'm gonna say levels, but factors where self-control is needed. I can give one scenario. This one scenario will distinguish the differences across the board, across anything that we do. And guess what that scenario is, Sid?
What?
If I would tell a woman, hey, let's me and you both run outside with our shirt off. No, bro. I'm gonna take my shirt off. You take your shirt off. Let's run outside.
Mm-hmm.
The reaction is going to be very, very distinct to you. That alone shows you the differences between the man and the woman.
Correct.
That we're not the same, nowhere near the same. And if it's always the man's fault when you are wrong, it's also the man's fault when you succeed.
Right.
Because that's always the conclusion. It's the man's fault. It's the man's fault. Well, if it's his fault for everything, so is your success.
Right.
So are your goals that you achieve. If you look at it and break it down, it's a man somewhere in there.
So, and the reason that we got to talk about this, another reason when I be talking about the men, we always talk about what men's roles are, provision and protection. And then we always talk about the woman's role is procreation. And then the idea of it is it takes two. Well, with provision and protection, it still takes two, but men take that role on, and we never say, well, it takes two. Well, of course, we understand it takes two, but if you look at nature and how mammals do things, typically the female mammal has some criteria before she decides to let a man impregnate her. The male species of mammal impregnate her. So the thing I asked, and I asked this plenty of times, what do y'all women look for before you say, hey, you're a suitable father? Hey, you're okay to have children with. Not sex. Okay, you want to have sex, you think the nigga fine, you want to bust it open, cool. But sex does not have to lead to procreation.
I agree.
And so when we have these conversations about simply procreation, why are y'all out here still getting pregnant by bum ass niggas? And y'all, I keep hearing y'all say, well, yeah, my baby daddy was broke, but and then you had to take the bus to your doctor's appointments. I don't get it. You mean tell me you fucked a nigga that didn't have no car? So what if your water break right now? You got to wait for the bus to come? You gonna call 911?
We're not educated in our community on a lot of these things, especially processes. But that's a whole nother conversation. We're gonna get into our first video, and you're gonna see this is gonna set the tone, because this it's not so much the black women, it's a specific type which is trending now. That's what we want to focus on. It's a specific type. Let's roll that footage.
23 years old, a mother, a daughter, a life built in Birmingham, Alabama, taken in an instant. Not by some faceless monster in the shadows, but by people you might have seen on TV.
A little boy will grow up without his mom. Friends have identified Brittany Matthews as the victim of a Monday morning shooting.
Do you have any idea who would do this to your daughter?
No, because Brittany didn't live that life. Like, Brittany was...
If you're here now...
5-7. We take your man in the A grieving family is asking for the public's help tonight in finding the killer of 22-year-old Deja Jenkins Minus. Police haven't said anything about a suspect in this case since her body was discovered on Friday.
I'm hurt. I'm numb.
This is the story of Kyla Cooper, 24 years old, a young mother with 2 children, just 4 and 5 years old. Her life changed in a heartbeat, a single devastating moment. She was shot and killed by another woman who happens to be the other girlfriend of her boyfriend, Rashad Thompson.
And shout out to Mind Twist Crime Stories. This is one of many channels that I follow, and I just watch these stories. And like I said, you see these trends. It's the same profiles, the same scenario, and it's kids always involved without the father. It's not, none of these women are married.
None of them.
And like I say, it's small factors like that to where women really can think they can just operate and walk around single. They had a situation in Cali we talked about with the serial killer. Mm-hmm. He was unaliving beautiful women from age like 22 to 28. Mm-hmm. And it's women have become so warped in what society has told them that, hey, you can just walk around and live free, like the girl Mercedes, rest in peace to her, in Texas, where the stalker came from Florida, broke into her apartment, and it was a murder-suicide.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, this was maybe 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
But yeah, Mercedes, she was in Texas.
It happens so much; it's hard to keep up with these stories.
It's too much, and y'all have to come back into reality, because again, it is a war on this specific group of women that are moving just so carelessly, freely, having children, multiple men with the exes, and now they move in. You got your new dude killed. You see what I'm saying? I don't think this is not being weighed on a certain scale.
And like you said, with intimate partner homicide, Black women are more likely to be victims of this. And now you got to ask, why is that? What are the facts? What you say?
No, they said 1 in 3 murders. I think this was in Texas. It's a IPV.
IPV.
That's what they call it, intimate partner violence or intimate partner homicide. And most of these are going to be Black women. Mm-hmm. And it's strippers, nightlife is involved, leaving a club, leaving a lounge. This is involved. But I think it's a lifestyle that draws a certain energy.
I agree.
I think a lot of people don't take into consideration what you do on a daily basis, who you're around, especially who you having children with, because you are connected.
Right. And like that video Tiffany Haddish was talking about, having multiple baby dads might be some form of mental illness.
Yeah, because
I agree.
It's like I said, it's too many of these cases that if I'm doing something right and I see, let's take it back to the drug game. If I was a drug dealer and I see 3 drug dealers in my area, immediate proximity, get busted, why would I still continue? I know they own me. Why would I still think I ain't gonna get caught?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I don't think, like I said, everybody got this main character syndrome. I can live my life. I'm a free spirit. Ain't nothing going. And you see these women on camera. Some of these murders that we're gonna get into are always and a lot of the times caught on camera.
Yeah, and that's the sad thing. Also, when we talk about marriage, I know that's a thing where we think that it's old and outdated, but the men, we understand if I decide to marry you, that is important to me. I think highly of you. I want to start a family with you, and I want to be with you long term. Right? When most people get married, we thinking forever, right? So when we have these conversations and we say, "Well, marry before you carry," women, our women, because I don't date outside of my race. I only date black women, married to a black woman. But women will say this stupid shit like this: "He can still leave. Marriage ain't nothing but a piece of paper." Yeah, okay. If you believe that, I don't personally believe that. I believe in the sanctity and the sacredness of marriage. But a lot of people feel like, well, I can just do what I want to do and have multiple baby daddies. And now I got to still depend on the court system. I still got to go and depend on somebody to say, hey, you got to pay this money. If you got to do all that, I don't understand why you would evade marriage and talk about it as a piece of paper. You don't believe in the government and all this. But as soon as your ass needs some money, now you got to go to the government. Now you got to ask for visitation rights, or he got to get visitation right. Now y'all fighting over custody. Like, these are things that's happening in our community that we got to really have a drive home. Like, it is important to marry before you carry, and make sure that you're making vetting these people. And I'm always asking women, what are the vetting process before you say you are a suitable man to have children with? That's all I'm asking. And that question never gets answered.
I was talking to my lady. I said, if your father is really not involved in your dating process, you're probably going to pick wrong.
I agree.
In the most cases, if you don't have a man or men, as far as, because dating again, and I heard this take, and I haven't really seen a lot of unlayering of it. Like dating, if you think about dating itself, is quite foolish if you think about it.
Yeah,
to do it, because it's a practice and it's a habit, and you get to doing the same thing. You know what's gonna be next. You know it's gonna be dinner, then it's gonna be some sex, and you do this so much to where it's no value in the bond.
Right.
It's just something I'm doing. This is a part of my life, and if you can get dates, you're gonna keep going on them. But it ruins you.
It does.
Like, you got too much experience, you got too many preferences, you got, you done tailored your, liking and appetite to variety.
Right.
That you can change at any time. I just leave this family. I'm gonna get another one. Stepdaddy season.
It is crazy that even to this day that we have people like a Brittany Renner just have a baby, hop on the internet and say stepdaddy season.
It's insane.
It's so crazy that now she Muslim, now she probably married to Kevin Gates, now they divorced. Like, you see all of these people that delve in these practices, they never win.
Never win.
They never win. We see a lot of these women out here on the cock carousel, the baloney pony. And I say this all the time. The number one factor and the reason why a lot of people lives are fucked up, men and women, is because of sex. Baby mama, baby daddy yells using the court system. Now you might have to go to jail because you can't pay child support, or you want to see your kids. The judge in the court say you ain't got visitation rights. This, like, it's so much that come with that STDs. Let's say you start messing with a new chick. I just posted a video on our Instagram page where a dude was messing with a chick and her ex trying to break in the house, and he has to shoot and kill him. Like, it's so much that's involved when it comes to meeting new people and involved in sex and mixing those fluids and those emotions. That's why when it comes to a lot of these, even these lawsuits that we see coming up by people, wanting to sue these celebrities and stuff like that, it's hard to really just get into it, because that relationships are so volatile.
We can go on, but like I said, we got a lot of video we want to cover because we want to really drive this home. And y'all need to look at these stories, look at these details that are involved, and you're going to see so many commonalities. It's going to be scary. And again, a lot of this is caught on video.
Right. And before we get started with the next video, y'all make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all share the video. Make sure y'all subscribe to all of the social media channels. And one thing I want y'all to notice and pay attention to when we play these videos is the aesthetic of the young ladies that we play, the look, the hair, the way they visited, hanged out, or their background. I want y'all to look at this, and I don't want y'all to think that these are just like a spin-off or one-off type deal, that this is part of the Black community, these videos that we're watching. I'm gonna play this one right.
Park on the south. 31-year-old Angel Nika Smith was shot multiple times. Smith, a mother of young children from Fuller Park on the south side, was taken to Ingalls Memorial Hospital where she was pronounced dead.
Outside of a Dalton bar kills a young mother. 31-year-old Angelica Smith was fatally shot near 144th Place in King Drive. Dalton's mayor says the woman was inside the Sandpiper Lounge when she got into an argument with a former boyfriend. The altercation spilled outside and shots were fired. Another person was also injured. He is expected to recover.
By the time we got back to the car, literally we were still in front, and then by the time we pulled off, they started shooting.
It was so loud it woke neighbors who live near the Sandpiper Lounge.
As we were getting settled in our bed, I finally fell asleep with the loud music that goes on constantly. And I fell asleep, and I wake up to these gunshots.
At a news conference this evening, Mayor Riley Rogers says he has asked the board for funding to hire 15 additional.
31 small children. Got into it with the ex. So, and this is the small details, and this is what kind of keeps me on the straight and narrow. Ain't no way you just randomly ran into your ex-boyfriend at this spot. He on you.
Yeah, or
he on you. He tracking you.
Not necessarily even that he tracking you. I might have met my boyfriend there, and I'm still visiting that same spot. This might be the spot we went together.
Well, I'm talking about on this night. It's a I don't believe in coincidence.
Yeah.
We don't break up on Tuesday. I'm going here Friday. I run into you.
Yeah.
It don't happen like that. He on you. He tracking you.
It's
to catch you outside.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see both sides. I'm just saying.
Okay,
I don't want y'all to just think that because he could be. Don't get me wrong, he could be. But at the same time, like I can think about my ex, one of my exes. Hey, we used to go to the spot every Friday night. It's a good spot, kid chill. We broke up. I go to the spot, see her that same weekend, and we do our thing. Like, hey, you sure we broke up? End up smashing. The bullshit. We claim we broke up. We ain't together, but you go through the rigmarole. Is we together, not together? The ups and downs of that shit. So it could be the same thing right here. Like she could have been broken up. I don't know. Like I said,
but I don't want to minimize the mindset of the Pookie because we know he's very peculiar.
Okay.
We know when his ego, he's emotional. He still has the logic intact of a man.
Mm-hmm.
This is why you see these cases so often that we see. Another question: how am I able to catch you every time dead to rights?
Right.
I always catch you.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? No, you leave scot free. You end up getting away every time. Ain't no barriers or layers to get to you. I always catch you dead to rights. Like, got you.
Yeah.
I still got the tact of a man. So my emotions hurt because you probably play with me. And this is because we only really ask what will make this guy unalive this woman. Like, what type of love is this?
Is there really even
a
logical explanation for that? Other than you remember that video of the white man and he killed she was on live and he was out there with a shotgun and shot and they gave him 10 years.
Yeah.
But she cheated on him, took his $10,000 and gave it to her boyfriend and all that. She's trying to basically out there hold him.
Yeah.
I think something like that could make me like, you out here videotaping me, took my money, give it to your boyfriend, and you think that you just out here because you got your phone. I ain't gonna blow your head off.
I ain't seen the story, but this was years ago. This was one of the first I seen like this. The woman in Philly, the hairstylist, that the guy was in the feds, left for all his money and properties.
Yeah, he
come out and she didn't ran off on him and got a new dude. He pulled up. He told her, when I catch you, I'm gonna get you.
Yeah,
and he do it. And women probably heard this and he ain't gonna do nothing. it's this arrogance.
See, that's the point. That's the point that we have to talk about.
It's the arrogance.
That's a narcissistic take.
I ain't gonna take your threat serious.
Who don't take threat serious?
You gotta. I'm taking everything. I'm taking it serious. I'm on point.
And go back to the video, the live video that prompted this video. The man said, "Hey, keep playing. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna stab you." Oh, you you gonna stab me? You see on the you think you gonna stab? Yeah. Like what? Like these are real literal threats in a house that y'all share together, and you're following this man. He tell you leave him alone, and you think that is a cute thing. And a lot of, like, we even had a conversation. I don't think it's right. You don't think it's right, but some women believe that being in love involves some type of violence.
Well, I ain't gonna say some type of violence, but some type of toxicity.
Toxicity. Okay.
Toxicity is attractive. Like, oh, I'm toxic. That's why they gravitate to the summer walkers and the futures, and they gravitate to this culture of it don't matter how bad I behave, my nigga still gonna love me. That's the arrogance that's being displayed. It don't matter what I do. He still gonna come back to me. And you got some men to do that. It don't matter what I do, I still got you. Like we got this thing we want to possess and have this ownership over this woman's or man's emotions, and we get to plan because we want to see we want to see how invested you are. And I always say this, like I was in past relationships. I said, well, every time I said I'm not the arguing type. I'm laid back. I ain't gonna trip. Like, not funny. If it's a big deal, it got to be a big deal for me to make it a big deal. I'm not about to trip on no bullshit. So I'm like, why she keep starting arguing with me? But I'm like, I came to learn that she's testing my emotional investment. She want to see if I still invested because I may be nonchalant for a few weeks, not as enthused as she may like me to be. So now she got to start an argument to see, well, let me see if we still in love. Let me see if I still got a hold. And if I do that, that's when the makeup sex and I'm sorry's and all the I'm reaffirmed.
Just like that clip I was telling you about when the lady was told the dude, she said, yeah, I think it's just time for me to move on. He looked at her, he said, okay, and walked off. And she said, see, you don't even want to fight for this. And he said, what is it to fight for? You just told me you're gonna move on. If you want to move on, I'm not gonna keep you here. If you're ready to move. And it's like, those are the type of mind games that a lot of people have to deal with. I don't want to deal with the shit test that women want to put me through, because if I say that I'm here, I'm doing something consistently, you don't have to keep doing it. But the thing is, a lot of times women want to test your manhood too, to make sure you still a man that you could, I don't know if it's natural to make sure, hey, if a threat pop off, you there, you got that masculinity ready. Because when you're in a relationship, they talk about this a lot. Like your testosterone started to drop, your veracity started to drop, your I guess your bravado as a man kind of lower, because you're now in a more domesticated situation. You ain't on the prowl looking for chicks. You ain't trying to stay in the gym as much. It's things that go on that make you kind of lower in your masculinity. So sometimes when you're in these situations with women and she's the only one you're dealing with, even if it's a toxic one, a lot of times they trying to test you because, hey, before you was fucking me differently. Now when we lay up, you want to play the slow music. At first you was fucking me the Gucci Man. So it's just a different time.
Like I said, you have attraction is natural. Like women gonna look at you for two ways: what can you do for me, and how you can make me feel. One, if you gonna do one or the other. If she can get both, you may have you some semi long term. But again, women's needs and wants change like the weather. So you got Calvin Coolidge who did the experiment, and women, like I said, even though they see the observable reality on men want multiple women, they want to deny it because in their mind, they want to be the special one. So they'll get a guy and they had this thing where I'm going to pick a guy lesser than I am or with a lower IQ because they want the domination over him. They want they want the advantage. I know what to do with him. I can control him. He ain't never had nothing like this. I'm going to control him. You see what I'm saying? But they end up getting a guy that they think a sucker or think is weak mentally, which he is, because you look at the outcome. And I'm like, you preyed on him.
And do you ever notice, even when we talk about these situations, how you talk about the preying on somebody that's mentally weak or inferior than you because you can control them, it always seems to be when we talk about these situations, the woman, she leaves, he's the ex, and now he's the one shooting and killing her up because he thinks that she thinks that she can just move and go on without any consequences to that. What's going on?
No, go ahead.
But yeah, any consequences to that. So that's why I'm saying, like, y'all can think y'all are smarter than men, but nature always will prevail. Like, if you think that just because you can move on and think you finna get that coochie to somebody else and the man ain't fully done with it, hey, you might have to deal with the consequences of that.
They never done with it. Like, you got people who are very possessive, very controlling. And you think you're going to do all of this and you just going to get away scot-free. You ain't getting away scot-free.
I agree.
You got to pay the piper. You got to pay your toll. But on the back end, you got the women who I think they want to be controlled. And the dude may not, come with that energy. So they start antagonizing. Hey, nigga, I want you to, you acting like you acting soft.
Mm-hmm.
So I antagonize to get you in that masculine little position to tame me.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't putting in the work. Women got this thing where they want you to work for them. Like, what you think about that? They gauge you how much work you put in.
It depends on the work. I think if you working for a woman nowadays in 2025 is stupid. Maybe 30 years ago, where a lot of women weren't coming off the coochie, you had to marry to get coochie, meet the family, and family units were more intact, maybe so. But nowadays, women, like I told you, the roles are reversed. We said back in the day, we were saying we got hoes, women saying they got hoes. We were saying, hey, I'll fuck that bitch. Now women saying they fucking us. Yeah. I got the dick. The fuck you
the roles reversed now.
You know what I'm saying?
They want the stripes. Yeah.
Yeah. I said that we call women hoes. Now the women calling us hoes. Like the roles have been reversed so bad now that it's like you ain't really gotta pursue a woman like that. Women women doing like women are even pursuing men lazily.
You know what's up? I'm gonna give you some pushback. I like to play devil's advocate.
Okay, so women do this thing now where I done seen and had happened to me where a woman to go in your inbox and just shoot and just hit you with a basketball emoji.
I don't think it's roles reversed. I think it's going back to natural order.
What you mean?
You talking about where the women chasing the men now, the women doing this now, and all
hold
this
on,
now.
Before you go, I'm finna preface my statement about the chasing. Okay. So I don't think men naturally ever really chase, but you got to understand we had a father unit that was there that made you chase. So before you came to get my daughter, you had to come sit on the porch, you had to jump through all these hurdles. Hey, you can't do all of this stuff because you actually more so trying to impress the father to say you can have my daughter. That's why I said went back 30 years when the family was intact, you had to get married, you had to do all these things. Now with no father intact, women just doing
well, I'm taking the politics out of it because she still had to choose me for me to end up at the house. I got the address to come over here.
Yeah,
so you already chose.
Yeah, no, but because it's like you with a father. If your father said, "Hey, even though you brought him out, he ain't good," you still might say, "Hey."
But you already chose me. How I get here? How I get your address?
Yeah, I guess.
You chose me already. So no matter what the father say, I'm already in the door because you chose me on the onset. I'm talking about just a natural attraction.
But I'm gonna say this. If we just talking about on the sex level, yeah, because I know that it's certain people that have said, I've been around girls that said, "Hey, I like him, but I know I can never take him on to my father."
Yeah, but they ain't saying she still gonna bust it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. We just talk about sex.
So, because the marriage, this is politics. We had families and civilizations way before a marriage process,
right?
Way before, because it's natural.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say playing devil's advocate. It ain't so much if we reversing the game. This is high because I take it to the animal kingdom. Like I said, I watched the Animal Planet since a little boy. That big dog lion come through there.
Mm-hmm.
What he chasing?
Nah.
Yeah, they coming to him.
But
big dog in the house. Let's go to him. But ain't no chasing.
I don't think it's necessarily about a chase more than impressing the other man or beating the other man.
It's the attraction. It's the appeal. I don't have to do that. I'm already that because I'm finna come in here and wreck.
Because but that's what I'm saying. You go back to the idea. Even when the male line come in there, he still got to go and beat up the other male line because they already got a male line over the prior, right?
Yeah.
So that's the idea when I'm thinking about like even the idea when the woman say, "I can't take you home because you got to jump through these hurdles that you can't meet with my father."
To take me from my father, but you ain't got to do that to get the pussy.
But and so this is another thing is a lot of those attraction. That's why fathers are important. A lot of the reason that you're going to like certain men is because of your father. So if your father is a pussy, You probably might date a nigga to pussy. Your father, you seen your father move in an unscrupulous manner. You might date a nigga that's unscrupulous. Like the way a lot of times, that's why a lot of women get up in these situations and don't understand. That's why when I ask the question, what are y'all learning in these relationships? Y'all have been in 45 relationships. You ain't learned shit. You ain't got no game on men. You don't know how to flirt. You don't know how to be cute. See, you don't know how to be none of this shit with a man. So what are you learning with men? But a lot of these women ain't grow up with men to actually have a barometer on what a man is supposed to be.
You know what they learn?
What
they like versus what they don't like. They don't pick up there's no wisdom in selection. It's what I like versus what I don't like. And mostly it's gonna break down the sexual attraction every time. It's gonna break down to how you make me feel or what you can do for me.
I think if we're talking about attraction, I think that's a low thing because there's a lot of shit that I ain't never know that I like until I was exposed to it. And that's part of having a father. So on my own base level, I know I like chicken fingers.
Yeah, but like let's say
But I do like filet. I love filet mignon. That's a different type. That put me in a different atmosphere, different money being spent. It's like different things. And so like that's why I say it, depending on your father, wherever he put you at, you think you like these things. Hey, if I had a choice, if I had a choice between chicken fingers, which I know I like, which I had access to the chicken fingers, but I'm gonna pick the filet every time.
Again, that's
just base level shit. So it's like
that's variety that you like because you may like say I love the steak, but I like the chicken fingers. But I'm saying with women, you have women coming into these guys and because I hear this and I said this sounds foolish what you're saying, but I thought about it when women saying you can't help who you love or like, and I said that's stupid. I said yes you can, but I thought about it, and when you break it down to the biology. When Big Dog coming in, and I look at the cast, you look at a bunch of these stores we cover. All of these stores go up, belly up.
So let me ask you this question because I know you should. So do love and sex equate to the same thing?
No, that's why I'm going.
Okay.
If you look at a lot of these stores where it's triangle, it's always a big dog in there. And turn this bitch belly up because it ain't no negotiating being a big dog.
Yeah,
it's pure biology. It's in my DNA. It exude from it. My pheromones. She can't deny that. I don't give a fuck what she say. The thing that fathers did was in the best interest of the mother was keep her away from this type of nigga. You see a lot of them white movies. They see motherfuckers 6'4" buck abs 18 rocked up 240. Hey, hell no. What you doing over here? Get your ass on. Because you see what I'm saying. You can't deny biology.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. When we get in relationships, they're using a relationship because they want the feeling they get from the physical. They think it's gonna translate into everything else, which is why you have these.
And that's why I say that's why we gotta have the fathers because we all end up finding out. And like the thing is, we in our community we do have this thing where you can't teach an old dog new tricks. So we still see 45, 50-year-old bitches still doing the same shit. Vivica Fox, Tracy Ellis Ross, Lisa Ray. We got all these old women that was quote unquote the baddest bitches back in the day. Beautiful bodies. You would think, hey, any man will want these women, right? But they out here having a King Von mama.
Hey, she looking right on there.
She look good as shit.
I said, this motherfucker 50.
50 years old.
She looking like she 30.
She look younger than that to me.
Yeah, she been like 28.
So I'm saying, so you're looking the same way as you're in the same dating pool. You 50 and a 25-year-old woman, both y'all in the same dating pool. Bitch, you can't have no more kids at 50. Let's just call it like this. You done went through menopause and all that, but you're still trying to look like this. There's no progression in our community whatsoever. Everybody want to glam moms and all.
You know why that is? And that you look like what you think or know would be attracted to that. So you gotta look at her taste of men. You got a king mama, like I said, we're talking about Pookies Revenge. You about to get into some more video. You see these women, they're gonna dress and appeal to the demographic that finds that dateable and valuable. And you look at the exes, you look at these relationships, you see that's the type of guy that will go for that. These guys ain't suited professors, pastors, they're not that type. There's a certain caliber, there's a certain type of woman, archetype of woman, which is attracting a certain archetype of men.
That, even with that being said, that's even sad because and I think women understand, the older women understand this, the man that I'm trying to attract don't have no guidance, so that's why he'll come and fuck on me as a 50-year-old woman.
But again,
and
for what though?
And date me.
A lot of these women don't want to be dated. Think about this. You got a woman who 30-some years old, getting to 40s. They've been dating for 20 years minimum. They didn't went on them dates. The dudes that's got the personality and the foresight to want to take them on date ain't that nigga to them.
I personally don't think they can secure relationships.
They just don't want them.
I don't think they can secure. And the reason being, you've dated women that you would think, damn, this bitch is nice. And then like we talk about our exes. You know right now the issue you had with your ex is the same issue another nigga gonna have, because at just on the base level you understand men. Right?
Yeah.
So the reason she your ex is the reason she gonna be the ex to the other nigga.
I take it with a grain of salt. I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
Not to cut you off. Because every man gonna bring out different results, just like every woman gonna bring out different results.
Mm-hmm.
So if she been with a square and coming over here, it's a totally different program.
Mm-hmm.
It's certain shit I ain't going for it. And it ain't gonna be no conversation.
Yeah.
The guy that they want to date and take them on dates, like I'll take a chick, let's say Jay Alexander, Fleming, whatever. It should be bland. It'd be a 6 out of 10 experience.
Yeah.
She got a hood nigga that she's really attracted to. They go get some motherfucking wings from, oh yes, have a blast.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's just what she attracted and why. Most of these chicks don't want long-term relationships. They want feelings and experiences. They don't want no, because a relationship comes with structure.
At 50 years, what other experience you gonna get?
More dopamine. I had my last boyfriend was 6'2". I want my next one to be 6'7".
But it don't. And we all know, even though that's crazy to think like that, we know it don't work like that. And the reason we know it don't work like that because they've already talked about at a certain age and dealing with men, your dopamine levels, your attraction levels, the connectivity of being with a person drops. So at 50 years old, you done had 200 dicks. What else?
If you was to go survey 25 women, how many of you think know that fact? From 25 to 55. How many of you think know that fact?
It's not about knowing. We talking about the feeling, right? So even if they keep doing it and keep doing it, that's why we call them sprinklers, because they're trying to find something. You would think logically they would just be like, damn, they did with 15 dudes. I can jump here, and I still ain't getting the feeling that I want. See, the thing is, people would tell you, smart people would tell you, don't go chasing feelings. I'm not gonna go and this chick right here might have made me feel amazing doing this, and this. I'm not gonna go and look for that same feeling in my new chick because I'm not chasing feelings, because that's what it's gonna do. Is just lead me back to her.
We think about from a logical man's perspective. These women don't think like that. That's why I say if you surveyed 25 women from 25 to 55, get a chick at 30 and say, "Do you know this effect?" She's not gonna know that because in her mind, well, I'm just gonna keep doing it.
But I agree with that mindset, because that's why we got a Tina Knowles still talking about she looking for her boys at 71 years old.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's
I said the chick on Kendra G. 72,
mm-hmm.
talking about she got love bombed at 70 years old. I just got out of an abusive relationship. Mr. Earl ain't punching that motherfucking hard. Hey, Mr. Earl ain't punching that hard.
But she ain't dating Mr. Earl. That's why a lot of time when we see the older videos,
who want to smash on this 70s? Come on, dog.
Bro, hold on now. Remember that video you called me mad about that time?
Which one?
Remember that video? They was talking about that old lady sucking that dude, that young dude.
Yeah.
That young dude.
See, that's transaction. You could tell he paid that. I'm talking about relationship. She said she got an abusive relationship. Yeah. Not a one offer.
So the nigga ain't with Cher?
For the check.
Okay then. So you mean to tell me she can't have been in a relationship with a young dude because she got a check?
Possibly. I'm just looking at it from the optics. It didn't look like this is a relationship. This is a pure transaction.
Because
why would I be recording my chick I'm in a relationship with?
When I'm that old as a 70-year-old man, I got a check, I got my Social Security to play with. All my shit might be paid off. I'm gonna get me a young tender. What a 70-year-old.
Big heart attack. Big heart gonna bust out his chest.
That's what I want. Bitch, kill me.
Man, let's get into some videos. If y'all tune in, share the video, subscribe to the channel.
Make sure y'all like the video.
Follow us on Instagram. Instagram is going crazy right now. Got a lot of videos trending. Let's go.
Next video we got.
Watch, but friends believe it is the reason. You have 3 people in custody right now, a 15-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a 21-year-old. Police late this afternoon confirming it was a family dispute that led up to the shooting right here in the middle of the street. A single shot.
Ooh, he popped him. He just shot dude right there.
Recorded from a nearby apartment window, showing the aftermath of a deadly shooting in the We do. Middle of Vliet Street in downtown Milwaukee late Monday night. It appears an argument leads up to the gunfire.
He put it up to her and she said, "Don't shoot me," and he shot her and she stumbled all the way over here and she fell on the floor and she just sat there shaking.
The video, too graphic to show, captures the victim stumble onto the sidewalk into someone's arms as first responders arrive.
Oh my God.
Hold on, let's play that again. Play it one more time.
Watch, but friends believe it is the reason. You have 3 people in custody right now, a 15-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a 21-year-old. Police late this afternoon confirming it was a family dispute that led up to the shooting right here in the middle of the street. A single shot.
Ooh, he popped him. He just shot dude right there.
Recorded from a nearby apartment window showing the aftermath of a deadly shooting in the middle of Vliet Street in downtown Milwaukee late Monday night. It appears an argument leads up to the gunfire.
He put it up to her and she said, "Don't shoot me," and he shot her and she stumbled all the way over here and she fell on the floor and she just sat there shaking.
The video, too graphic to show, captures the victim stumble onto the sidewalk into someone's arms as first responders arrive.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
Sad, man. A lot of like this is something I try to understand, right? You got unbalanced, or let's say unhinged young boys. You see what I'm saying? You got a woman and they related. What makes me kill my relative as a boy, as a black? You see what I'm saying? What would trigger me to get me to the point to where I would even put a gun to my family member, or just a woman I'm dealing with, a love or whatever? What gets me to that point though?
I think, and I say this all the time, I don't think people value their lives as much as we value ours. I don't think life is seen as something to value in our community.
Because you going to jail. You know you in an area with cameras.
You got to think, a lot of, when we talk about the aesthetics, the mindset, the way they look, the environment, people don't give a fuck about jail like that. You got to think about it. It's in our community, it's worn as a badge of honor to go to jail.
You could possibly be unalive by the police coming to the scene. They see you still got the strap.
Niggas don't care about that.
It's crazy. But I'm saying, what?
Everything you're saying, I agree with. But everything, when we see people that get in these situations, you think they care about that?
I'm saying, but what happens to them to make them, like, you saying they born this way? This is a genetic defect? This is something that happened? This trauma?
I think our environment articulate the behavior.
I agree.
I think that where these people are, what these people are doing, they probably to go up and shoot somebody in the middle of the street like that. Ain't no telling how many people he didn't seen get shot like that. Ain't no telling how many people he know that been killed, went to prison, police interactions. Like, what we're talking about is some logical, sane shit. I don't think in our community, and we got to really have a conversation about it, it's a lot of mental illness going on. And I think a lot of this mental illness go on because the people that we let raise children and poison our society. We had to talk about that a lot of our women, black women, are mentally ill on some type of psychiatric medication. That really has to be talked about. And a lot of your psychological issues do come from the woman's side of the family and given to the children. And you know, Willie Lynch, you got to think about, even like Willie Lynch, the psychological manner they was talking about, you put the woman through even while pregnant. And you got these women in these tumultuous situations, getting beat on while they pregnant, can't pay their bills, in the dark, having to have sex with different men to pay them. Just think about all of those different type of emotions are inputted in that baby before the baby is even born.
Yeah, it's
think about that. Before the baby even born, he got all this emotional trauma in him, all these chemicals, all this ups and downs. And don't let the mama already got to take some Lexapro to keep her mind stable already while she's pregnant. Some anxiety pills. What the fuck does that do to the baby?
Yeah, I think the society breeds this dysfunction through unnatural process. You look at a work day, you look at a school day, you look at I got to go do this, I got to do that. You see what I'm saying? I'm eating this. It's a bunch of things that are in our day. It's just not natural.
I agree.
Like social media being one of them. You don't have nobody waking up and not scroll on that goddamn internet.
I agree.
You see what I'm saying? It's just a part of our process, and we internalize it. Well, you got people full-fledged shootouts and things such as this stem from being on social media. Like we talk about, like the Frenchman, but let's get into another video. Yeah, we got a few. What we got? About 2 more?
Yeah, I got 2 more.
We got another video. Like I said, we want y'all to just take a look because we want to drive home the demographic and the profiles of these murders so you can avoid it.
He was upset about these devices being taken.
Rhonda says her nephew started going to therapy more than a year ago. He was diagnosed with mood and conduct disorder, and part of his treatment plan was to limit his use of electronics.
Do you think he, as a 10-year-old, understands what he did?
I don't think he understands the brevity of what he did.
From juvenile detention, Rhonda says her nephew has told her he's blocked out what happened that morning and shifts the conversation.
When he calls, he's just like, make sure like all of my tablets and my laptops and everything that is mine is properly packaged.
Do you think he should be charged as an adult?
That's a really difficult question. I do understand how they were able to come up with that type of charge.
Should a 10-year-old be charged as an adult? But before we get to that.
Yeah. Hey, we got a call in. Y'all make sure y'all like the video. But we haven't call in tonight because we want to hear what y'all think about everything that we played. Go ahead. My bad.
No, you good. A 10-year-old is so many things at play here. I got a 10-year-old that got, it sounds spoiled, a boy, got electronic device, iPad, VR, and she said because the mother said you can't play with this toy. So this a temper tantrum because you used to get in your way. Most of the time you see temper tantrums are from spoiled children because they couldn't get their way. No father, no mention of the father. You see what I'm saying? And how did he have access to her pistol?
That's another
This
question.
is negligence that would not be there if a father was in the home.
Yeah, like it's hard to really. I'm gonna say this. One, you got a mother. Then I who's this lady talking on the couch?
That's a family member. I think
That's
it may be a sister,
another
or cousin.
woman.
Yep.
You got a lady interviewing her. Like it's all women in this situation, and you got this little boy that's 10 years old asked to be charged as an adult. Do you like understand where we at in society where a young man is being questioned by all of these women around him, being raised by the women, being taught by the women, so much so that you have, and this is me as a parent, that I had to not to go too far into it because we weird times. But my son threw a temper tantrum yesterday because I told him he couldn't eat no cereal at 10 o'clock at night.
Hey, was it on some cereal?
I said, hey, baby, it's too late. I said, it's too much sugar. Y'all not finna eat, it's weekend. So I try to let them stay up. I said, you're not finna eat no cereal this late. He flashes, I said, okay. I said, I'm finna go tune you up real quick. Come on in, tune you up real quick. Because you think, nigga got right.
Yeah.
I ain't had no problem with him today. Like I said, sometimes with all of this stuff that go on, hey, bro, you got to have that man now. Because I remember even being a kid, and I used to do stuff like, buck up at my mama, right? And it got to a point my mama had gave me a whooping. I'm like, oh, that shit didn't hurt. So I remember my dad to tell my mama on the phone one time, like, hey, stop whooping him. Just tell me. Because there's no point. He's too big now. He's not. You don't have the force of the fear to do it. So after a while, my mom, because my dad worked a lot, so she thought she could handle us. And then he was like, "Why are you keeping these things from me? Because what you're going to ultimately do is let my sons get away from me, thinking that you're helping, but you're actually hurting. I might come home from 16-hour shift, but if my sons need to be some type of discipline, you cannot handle all of these things. That's why I'm here." And so I think when you see these type of issues, that's something that a father would have nipped in the bud a long time ago.
I was scared of my dad to whip. My dad would whip ass. My dad,
I was scared of that too.
I'm like, hey, nah, I'm finna get right.
Right.
And I used to get whipping so much because I was just bad. But I wasn't too bad the way it was. I couldn't, nothing like this. But this 10-year-old boy, you can't think about trying him as an adult because You just heard her say he's not even acknowledged the fact that he unalived his mother. He worried about his electronics that his mother has spoiled him with.
He know he did.
In absence of her parenting, because that's one thing that I know in a lot of communities, the Black community especially, if the mother or father can't provide the proper guidance, provision, and parenting, they'll just buy on some bullshit to keep them preoccupied. Them buy the video games, the shoes, let them eat whatever they want, things like that.
That kid know exactly what happened, what he was doing.
I don't think he's aware of the gravity though, because he's 10.
He's 10. He wanted to kill his mother. That's why he went and got a gun to shoot his mother. Because if you just wanted to just do something to her, why you didn't pick a chair and beat her ass? Why you didn't punch her in the back of the head? You know what I'm saying? Why you didn't do these things? Why? And then why did you? I get that you play games, but why did you associate using this gun to inflict pain? Because that's what you're doing. You're trying to inflict pain because you hurt. So I'm gonna do something to the mama to hurt her. You're trying to inflict pain on this person.
That alone shows a absence of rules and boundaries that have been set by the mother. The fact that you getting booked this way over a VR set, and when you listen to what she said, he's listening to a plethora of electronics. So she spoiled this boy to the point of no return. Reality ain't there. He's not mature enough as a 23-year-old boy. If I do a 10-year-old and a 23, their mindset ain't gonna be the same when it comes to something like this. He hasn't had no boundaries placed by a man. By 23, you don't have some run-ins with a man and know what consequences looks like from a man. You got a little boy spoiled, probably affluent. VR headsets cost about $300-400. Yep. And I got an iPad, another $400. I got a PS5, another $500. You're talking $2,000 in electronics alone.
Yeah.
So he ain't been reprimanded by a man. So his mind ain't mature enough to understand the consequences that come with what he did. That's why I say try him as an adult. When he ain't even acknowledged the empathy, he don't even have the empathy.
Well, the thing is, it's not even the trying as an adult, because I don't think a 10-year-old should ever be tried as an adult.
That's my
ever. Like it has to be some really, really, I don't know. Like like for instance, if he was out there and he tortured a cat, and you got reprimanded, hey, you can't kill a cat. Like that's wrong. Killing things are wrong. Like, and that was over and over and over. Maybe you could see, well, he has a history of torturing cats, dogs, doing little shit to kids. He understands that he's been reprimanded because of this. We got paperwork and all this. Hey, this is something that he does. It ain't no saving this little boy. Like you probably, if you charge him as an adult, he does life. He's in an environment where that might can change, but him in the society, he's a detriment to society. He should not be out here, because now we've got all of this paperwork, we got all of these years, we've been reprimanded, we didn't put him on different type of medications, he done switched schools, he done, had so much to show that, hey, we've done enough to make sure that these things don't happen, and it still happens. He should not be in society.
And I got a controversial take. When you look at kids and development, like it's nothing different than, let's say, some of the products that we consume, cars, clothes. You got what's called a defect. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever, irregular. It come off the assembly line. This can't go to the main lot. This go over here. This gonna go discount, or this you mess this up. This gonna go to Ross. This gonna go to TJ Maxx. We're producing children that are defecting and irregular and putting them out in the main populace where you got some children that ain't.
But that was our remember our age range didn't agree with No Child Left Behind. We still, when we was coming up, we still had the retarded, the slow class. Where everybody went in the gym pop at school. We knew you was on the short bus. We had short bus jokes. You rode the short bus. Yeah. You was in the class with 5 people in it. Y'all was separated. Y'all had cubicles. Y'all was the only class with cubicles, because if y'all look at each other too long, y'all was gonna get to fighting or throw shit across the classroom. Like, we understood that, but now everybody's in all the class. And see, that's what you have now with social media too. We have all the slow people and the people that need to be medicated is having conversations with regular people and the same people. That's why, like I say, even when you go back to voting, we need to have tests for voting. To be on social media, we need to have tests to be on social media. Everybody cannot handle something that's powerful, because even social media, when you think about it, still in its infancy, and we are the new people. We're the generation testing this out, so we don't even understand a lot of the power that we have in our hand.
Let's put it on the flip side, because again, we got a 10-year-old boy who's spoiled. Got all this in like they nice neighborhood. The other question on the opposite end of the spectrum is, if my mother had spoiled me give me everything I wanted. Why would I want to hurt a woman who done gave me everything I wanted up until this point? She spoiled me, took care of me, gave me all this. What kind of anger would flare up the well with shit? I'm gonna kill you.
Well, I think those are pacifiers for the bad behavior.
I
don't think he was rewarded those things.
You don't think that was on a metric system?
Yeah, I don't think a merit system. I don't think. Yeah, he wasn't rewarded those things.
Yeah.
He was given those things because he acted bad at school. I need him to go in the room and shut the fuck up. Hey, go play this video game. I'm gonna go buy you a PS5 so I can do what I want to do. Because obviously, and a lot of these things happen because when a mother's raising children by herself, she's working long hours, working multiple jobs, still want to have mama, still got to have a life too, Jody, like those type of things, men coming in and out, or she's dealing with other family issues and shit like that. So we know that a lot of these things are just pacifiers, not because it's not his mind is not, hey, my mama's so nice and loving and she bought me all of these things. I should never take my mama out because if I do that, I won't get to play PlayStation. I won't get to have VR sets. I won't get to get a car when I turn 6. Like, he's not thinking that. These are just pacifiers. These are things that I do because I'm slow.
I agree. That's crazy, man.
We got to have a conversation about a lot of these things too. A lot of these video games that we giving kids. See, I remember a time where video games I had to work for. I had to bring straight A's home to get to the game. I remember I had a Sega Dreamcast that I wanted really, really bad. And my dad told me he wasn't buying it. And I went to ask my granddad. I said, hey, granddad, can you buy me this video game, Sega Dreamcast? And this right when they started doing the bundles with the game, with the 2 controllers and the games and the memory cards and shit like that. And my granddad said, well, I can't just buy you no game. He said, what you gonna do? Because men don't give other men stuff. Like, what are you gonna do? He said, and I said, I'm gonna come and cut your grass every other Saturday. I cut your grass for a year straight. You buy me that. And that's the agreement they made. Like, you had to work for something. I'll buy it for you, but you're gonna come cut my grass. And that's what I did. For a year straight, I came and cut my granddad the grass, when it was not wintertime, but I would do other things around the house, clean up, take trash out, do other things to, pay off that debt. So these are things that a lot of these young boys aren't getting when they raised with mothers, because these mothers are stressed out. And I don't understand how people are still signing up to be baby mamas at this point in time in life.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't get that. I don't understand it, because we've seen this story millions of times. Billions.
That's how it came. I'm like, this is fascinating. I'm saying there's no way I get on the internet or YouTube and I see one story 2 hours ago, another story, different city an hour ago. They coming back to back. But we got one more video. We got one more?
Yeah.
And we're going to take some calls. Like I said, the war on the black woman is a thing that a lot of people are not, because as the economy gets harder, everything else will. There's going to be a trickle down. Your relationships, the bonds, you're going to have to put in a little bit more effort in. And again, what we know is going to happen, to offset that stress, people are going to look at stress relievers. Yep. And most of the time, those stress relievers are going to be drugs, alcohol, and sex. Right. And then you're going to still have babies coming out of that. You had the COVID babies, the corona babies. So let's get into this good bean footage.
I think this is the last one right here.
Flashing lights and crime tapes surround the outside of a home on Ross Street. On the inside, officers say they found 2 people, a mother and son, dead, and another son alive. Investigations reveal 25-year-old Brandon McDuffie fatally shot his mother. Officers identify her as 52-year-old Tracy McDuffie. The department says the son and mother got into an argument, resulting in the first round of gunfire.
Once the initial shooting did take place, there was some sort of communication to let that other son know that something did take place.
Blake Brown with the Mobile Police Department says from here, McDuffie's other son came to the home, and a second tragedy strikes just moments later. Police report the second brother then shot his younger sibling.
Situations like this are sad. I can't imagine the other brother walking in and finding out that his brother shot his mom, and then the brother's pointing a gun at him.
We went to the neighborhood where the shooting happened just 24 hours ago. I spoke with several neighbors who didn't want to be on camera.
That's crazy. I don't know. Did you hear that story? I know we talking about the women, but there was another story where these brothers were playing with a gun, and one brother accidentally shot the other brother, and the father tried to save the brother's life, and he ended up having a heart attack, and the brother and the son died. That is crazy. So when we see these incidents, it's like, bro, y'all need to make sure y'all guns are put up too. We need to have gun safety. They need to be locked away. Honestly, y'all should be training your children about guns, gun safety, how to use them, how to clean them, how to have them. Because honestly, having guns locked away, unless you do things like have dogs in the house that actually are guard dogs that protect you to where you can, make way to get to your guns. But you should be able, and your children should be able to be trained enough that if you have a gun laying around, that your children not touch the gun or not see the gun, just in case there is a reason for you to be able to get to that gun in time. Because like I said, guns being locked up in cabinets and safes and vaults, and somebody running your house and you got 10 seconds to react, 5 seconds to react, you ain't gonna be able to unlock no gun, find no key, all of these type of things. You're not gonna be able to do it. So that's another thing. If y'all have guns, y'all actually need to train your children on how to use guns, safety measures, how important it is to not play with guns, treat guns, all guns as if they're loaded. Never point them at you yourself, other people. Pull them unless you plan on using it. And like I say, if you do plan on locking guns away, you might want to have some dogs or something in the house, some guard dogs that maybe can give you a little bit more time to get to the guns in your house. That's a little.
Yeah. That's good information and good insight. Like I said, a lot of these domestic is people are, like I said, people are cracking as well. Like I said, the emotional pressure and stress and it's always in a lot of these stories, it is more than just the two involved. You know what I'm saying? You got the new boyfriend, you got another sibling, you got some type of antagonist, instigator, or something that's the catalyst for the murder to take place. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's no, they go through text messages. When you look at the investigation and the interrogation, they go through what was said. You never see anything about reconciliation or trying to make it right.
Do you think we know about that?
If you've been taught conflict resolution,
are we taught that?
Not as a whole, no.
Because I still remember, even now, I still remember it was a time growing up, some of the people that you got cool with was somebody you got to fight with.
Yeah.
A lot of times, and they're just on some, we had just a small discrepancy, a girl like you a little bit more than like me or something like that. It's just a little small shit, but you can fight, make up, and you kind of respect that person. Like, hey, you ain't, you get bitched up and then like that. Like you on some man shit. You some of those people you got to fight with was your close people. And nowadays it's this fucking cell phone that niggas don't want to fight no more. I gotta shoot you. I gotta lay that down, just like we seen that dude
get whooped out of draws. Beat the drip off him.
Yeah, they beat the drip off him for real. Like you got script in the club. That is crazy. You
can't go out for 3 years, dog. You gotta sit down for 3 years.
Right,
you gotta change your name, haircut.
So basically your manhood is threatened at this point. Your chicks gonna crack on you, all of that. Like we made a joke. Hey, did his girl leave him after that?
Oh yeah, you gotta get out of there.
So
she her phone blowing, or your dude just got beat, stripped naked. Woo, woo, like you gotta go. It's over.
Yeah, and so we ain't taught conflict resolution. We're not taught how to. We ain't like conflict resolution is one thing, right? But reconciliation is a whole nother thing. And I don't think we ever been taught reconciliation, because I'm Libra to the core. If you fuck me over, I'm not gonna fuck with you ever again, right? So it's very rare for me to be like, okay, like, well, let's talk about it. Let's hash it out. How can we make sure this doesn't happen again? Where did I go wrong? Where did you go wrong? What did we have miscommunication issue? Like we have to really hash it out, because my feelings are hurt. Maybe both of our feelings are hurt, or why we separated or went different ways. But I don't think we have that in our community where two people are adult enough to see where the issue came up or arose in a manner to where we would part ways, not talk to each other, talk shit behind each other, little shit like that, where we got to actually have a conversation. I don't think that's a thing in our community.
Nah, it's not. Outside of fight it out, that's the conflict resolution. Go out there and fight. Hit you, you hit them back. It's not. You're not taught. See why he hit you? Well, what's the problem? You're not taught that. Yeah, you hit me, I hit you back. I teach my,
I think I'm not gonna teach my sons. Hey, ask the man why he hit you. No, if a person hits you in the dog world, you gotta beat their ass. And sometimes you gotta beat their ass in a manner to where nobody else want to try you on that same time. But in a token, I'm a person that understands avoidance. And so what I'm doing is I'm teaching my sons, hey, if this person doesn't align with you, what you think, morals, how did he handle the situation? Like, do you watch this person? Because certain people, they don't just, I don't think for the most part that people just haul off and hit you.
Yeah.
Right. So if you see this person that has a propensity to hit people all the time, always arguing with people, always trying to square with somebody, that may not be somebody you want to be cool with, because it's going to matter of time before it turns on you.
You
So
stay
I'm
away.
so I'm a person that's big on avoidance when it comes to a lot of these situations. Now, if a person put their hands on you, gotta because you gotta think about, especially in the school setting. I slap the shit out you. You don't do. Hey man, why you hit me? Everybody finna start slapping your ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got to think of those things. You got to think about. But I'm big on, like I say, avoidance.
Yeah, I'm with you there. We got a good topic tonight. Like I said, we wanted to touch on it. We really wanted some ladies to kind of chime in or call in if y'all are watching. The numbers at the bottom. But again, these topics are very sensitive. A lot of women don't want to talk about this
because they're not gonna talk about this.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What you gonna say?
No, they're not gonna really chime in on it. It's just gonna be overlooked, and then it's gonna, because it's rage bait where, you know, the black woman is the most unprotected, but you're the most rebellious.
Right.
How can you be the most? How can you be protected and rebel at the same time?
Like I say on this one, the black woman, they always used to. Well, Malcolm X said the black woman is the most unprotected. The black woman and Malcolm X was talking about, and the 2025 black woman are two totally different women. Totally night and day women, right? When I see y'all, like I said, body cam footage, fighting all in Walmart, stealing like a fool, fucking like y'all fucked, the way y'all speak to men and the way y'all speak to each other, calling each other bitches and hoes, and how y'all cuss, like even the manner that women carry themselves is totally different. This is not a woman that you should come to save. There's no saving this woman. The woman that's getting her head cracked and fighting nigga, like, you're not saving. You don't supposed to put yourself in that position. Now, if it was somebody that was literally being a victim, that was, you know, mistreated because this is a small or dainty woman, or a woman that's carrying herself with class and some type of common sense, that makes sense. This woman, no, not at all.
Yeah, we again, I'm gonna say some controversial before we wrap up.
What you got?
When I look at what's entertaining to us, it has never been a point in time where I seen a little girl dancing to grown folks' music, doing grown folks' motions, and I thought it was cute.
Me either.
Never. So the fact I see this, I don't see her no more, Miss Mary.
Oh yeah, I don't see her either.
I don't see her no more. And not saying she probably still doing her thing, but via her mama extorting her. But when you look at this on his head, you got a black populace that are entertained by a 4-year-old girl doing adult dance movements, popping her butt with a fan, as if she's a grown woman, and we think it's cute, and we'll logically think we'll trick ourselves to say this is okay with a big ass Kool-Aid smile. How did we get here? How you can't break this down and say, how was that entertaining? Explain it to me. Explain it to me.
I can't explain it because, you know, I was outraged too, seeing a little girl like that.
I mean, if I was a lion, explain how this makes you happy. How does this entertain you?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I can tell you one way to entertain you.
It's crazy, dog.
We see grown men and women picking her up and, you know, stuff like that. You entertain because you like little kids.
It's crazy,
man. Send a young girl, a 4-year-old girl bent over, popping like that. No. It's nothing.
Like, what the hell are y'all talking about?
Even, and I'm gonna go further. Even like when I watched the dancing doll stuff they had on TV.
Yeah,
the girls popping and gyrating, legs open and thrusting like that. I get it. Y'all saying this part of dance competition, but bro, let's be real. Let's be real. This shit is sick.
We should have played it. Me and my budget man had a back and forth earlier today, and we was talking about the lady who walked out of their auto shop because they were disrespecting Juneteenth. And I said, dog, I ain't say this, but this is my thought. I like, we got missing children, motherfuckers reading on a 2nd grade level,
right?
All type of violence. I said, tell me something. It was the disrespect. Did you see the video?
Yeah, I seen it. I didn't think it was that disrespectful.
I said, I'm always in the options when we talk about the Sierra. Is it an option that I can sit here and just say, I don't give a fuck what y'all think. I just want to pay y'all to fix my car because y'all So now you walk out, you still got to get your car fixed.
Right.
So your emotions overread over. You see what I'm saying? You let your emotions come in because you ain't finna do shit. And then if that's the case, you should be walking out about 6 to 8 businesses a week.
Right.
You think the government care about you? They blatantly disrespect you in your face, talking about motherfucker what somebody saying behind the counter. Their actions disrespect you. The people you go get your nails speaking a different language, disrespecting you.
But she'll have a party outside her house for a Ray come home that killed 25 motherfuckers.
Yeah, like what are we talking about? How is this triggering? You talking about you just learned about Juneteenth 6 months ago.
That's the part that I don't fucking like.
You ain't know nothing about no motherfucking Juneteenth before 2021, but you finna walk out in rage. But you ain't enraged by these kids can't read a motherfucking, can't say they motherfucking ABCs.
Look, I ain't heard shit about no Juneteenth till the government said y'all need to learn about Juneteenth.
I knew about it, but it was
I didn't know
if
about
you
it.
don't if another race of people don't what the fuck are we talking about?
Right.
You don't you don't spell this ain't for you to respect or like. You finna fix this motherfucker car because I need my shit fixed.
Right. I'm gonna say this. I didn't know about it, and I was asking a lot of niggas. Most people didn't know about it because it was a Texas thing. And then I know this is a real shit. I know a lot of niggas don't even travel outside their own neighborhood.
Yeah.
You gotta think about it. We talking about people that can't read on a 3rd grade level. They supposed to know about all this history and shit like that. And now all y'all celebrating Juneteenth and with your shirts and shit. Y'all don't know about no Juneteenth. Let's stop the bullshit. Let's stop the fake outrage, the performative activism that y'all want to have. I'd be so tired. Like I said, racism is $1 billion industry. They keep giving y'all new holidays. Y'all want to celebrate shit clothes, whoop whoop, all that. Okay, cool. I don't understand why this lady walked out because I don't think that white people said nothing wrong. Hell, if I didn't know about Juneteenth, they can make a little joke about Juneteenth because I made a joke about Juneteenth because I know y'all niggas didn't know about it.
It's insane. We
Just
that's the battle you chose to respond, or you responded to that, but not the motherfucking kids that can't motherfucking read.
The government give us shit to be upset about, bro.
Yeah.
Just think about how controlled our emotions is that this lady right here. I'm gonna say something. This lady was so motherfucking big, she had to turn sideways to walk out the door. And you mad about Juneteenth more than your health?
And you still need your goddamn truck fixed.
Still need your truck fixed.
And more likely, you finna go to another white body shop.
More than likely. And you know why she down at that one? More than likely, because she probably said, I can't trust niggas. You know, niggas don't do work like white folks because we done heard that before.
Shade treatment, all that. Like I said, we had that. I'm like, dog, we got bigger fish to fry. It's options into what you respond to.
Right.
What the fuck these motherfuckers talk about? I can't get my goddamn truck fixed. Right. I'm gonna pay you for that service. I'm gonna leave.
I ain't even listen to that conversation like that.
And I may not be back. I may be turned off, but I ain't gonna fix the truck so I can get out of here because I still got to get my truck fixed.
Yeah. And this crazy all the outrage that I seen about that because they were just like nobody really knows why the bank is closed. That's all they really said. Like nobody really knows why the bank is closed or some shit like that. Yeah. They didn't say nothing crazy.
Imagine Mexicans being in Mexico. Talking about we closed for Columbus Day? What? Huh?
Yeah.
I'm in a Mexican city, which is probably 80% Mexican, 70% Mexican. Talking about a 13% holiday.
Right.
What?
That makes sense.
But like I said, the line is open. Y'all want to call in, give us a call. Like I said, we wanted to touch on this because I just seen this trend. I thought it would be a good conversation. But these topics can get a little sensitive when you're seeing people are losing their lives. And rest in peace and our condolences to the ones who have lost their lives and family members. But this is an issue that is going to continue to regurgitate because
it's going to get 10 times worse.
Oh yeah, and I called this out a couple years ago. I said
10 times worse.
You're going to have a lot of violent women and you're going to have a lot of violence against women because the women have been able to run around rampant, running ramshot on dudes. I can get pregnant by this one, get pregnant by this one, get pregnant by this one, take him to child support court, take them. What? But I can't marry 3 on. Damn sure get 3 on pregnant. Make that make
crazy,
sense.
Ain't it?
Make that make sense.
Crazy as shit though. I'm gonna say this real quick. The reason that we're not gonna have black women call in on this type of issue is because now I gotta hold the spotlight up to myself. And we in this thing now. I've been seeing this so much. This girl shit.
Yeah.
to where now I can't even speak on the bullshit that I see of other women and the shit that they do that's detrimental to our community in the sake of not being part of the mob saying something towards me or about me, bitches. Because the reason is, I'm gonna say this: Black women, they scared of each other.
Yeah, they are.
They scared of each other. And that's why we see all of these fights that go on, all of this stuff that we see that go on. They're literally scared of each other because hey, if I say something wrong to her, she's gonna be ready to fight.
It's gonna go left.
Yep. Gonna go left. Like I can't reprimand her. I can't say nothing about it or anything like that. That's how far we've gotten our community to where the people that should be out here having these type of conversations we having.
Yeah,
it should be we should have plenty of podcasts that did the same thing we did. Hey, bro, y'all raising these kids and they killing y'all. What we gonna do about this? How are we gonna change this? Y'all gotta stop putting this type of product back out in society. So we all are dealing with like this. These kids are taxing on our society.
Yeah, and that's the part. If I have this child in this, your neighbor could be a victim of my child,
right?
And it ain't taking it. It's not thought about that way. We're in this bubble. It's my child, it's my business. I get to do what I want, but your child finna go out in this community and cause hell. And when they get put on the ground, now it's all this outrage.
Right. No. And see, that's the thing I don't like. I don't like it when you got a fucking menace to society. As soon as he get killed, the pastor got to get up here and lie, act like he was just an angel.
Yeah.
This nigga was a hell raiser.
Everybody ain't going to heaven.
Right. The reason that he in that casket right there and finna get put in the motherfucking ground because he was out here. They say you live by the sword, you die by the sword. You live by the gun, you die by the gun. He out here shootouts. He done killed a few people. He done got off on this case right here. And they know he did it just technicality is the reason he got out. Hey, you mean to tell me you don't think all this shit and the dirt he done did gonna come back on the group of people that always talk about karma, God, don't play by me. I'm one of God's child, and then your child out here doing all the devil's work.
Yeah.
And you mean to tell me you don't think it's gonna come back on you, your child, your household? This is the product that you fucking raised.
That's it.
So, like I said, we got to get on up out here. I want to tell y'all, thank y'all for watching. Y'all make sure y'all share the video. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, the New Normal Podcast. Make sure y'all over there on the Instagram page is going up something crazy right now. New Normal Podcast 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, New Normal Podcast 20. We on Rumble, X, formerly known as Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and on Instagram. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe. And I think we're finna end up getting on Kick too. We're gonna start streaming a lot more. Doing just reviewing video. I see what people be doing on Kick. We can actually run that up real quick because we got a lot of videos that we could discuss and watch.
Is it unfiltered like Rumble, or is it censored like YouTube?
I think Kick was supposed to be speech free, but I know people that's been over there and they got banned. Yeah.
A lot of that's going on.
They say they speech free, and then you say certain people or certain things, and see, like that's why I think because I ain't been seeing a lot of TikTok videos and people talking about TikTok lately. TikTok didn't, I think, run its course a little bit. A lot of the big creators because I want like to be a big creator. You got to have some type of controversial takes on something. Yeah. It's gonna make some people mad, and TikTok allow people to flag your shit so easily.
Yeah, I seen that.
So that's why a lot of people just say the big creators, they ain't on TikTok. And your Andrew Tate, Sneakos, your Charlie Kirks, the people that the politicals, your Ben Shapiro, ain't none of them really over there on TikTok. Like I said, you're gonna say something that's gonna be controversial. And then now you flag, you're gonna say something about women, fresh and fit. Like none of those people over there. So it's really no point. Only time you want to be on TikTok is to see somebody new dance, music, or buy some shit. It really ain't no reason to be on TikTok. I don't even get on that bitch. But like I said, we thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all share the video once again. It's the New Normal Podcast, and we're gone. Peace.